for people to get up and to share ideas. Because right now, you're probably familiar with like TED Talks.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And these are wonderful. These are tremendous. But to give a TED Talk, not only do you have to be, it's super elite. It's next to impossible to, and it's sad because, I mean, it's great because we're hearing these ideas.
But it's not exclusive.
But it's very exclusive, right? Yeah. So one of the goals we're trying to do with What If.
We is, who is we?
We. Oh, I have a partner, and we just have, did I bring, let me give these before I forget. I'll give you both. That's from our conference. These are both from our conference. We want to provide opportunities for people, for anybody, to be able to get up and take the stage and to share and grow ideas and transform ideas into action. And we find asking questions like what if is a perfect vehicle to do this. So we're trying to get people to share ideas that either don't have answers or can't be answered. Because it's very different. And this is in education, it's very different if I say, like you were talking about languages or writing paper. It's very different for somebody to say, like, you need to learn Spanish. You have to learn Spanish. You have to do this, right? As opposed to what if you did this or what if you did that? Because in politics and everything, when we discuss, we always say, I think you should do this or you need to do that. And even if I'm right, or even if you're right, the discussion immediately or quickly becomes about you and me instead of the issue that we're talking about.
And what if creates opening?
What if creates a third space? So we want to find something over there.
This is my thing,
the
third space that he laughs about me.
And it's a safe place.
I call it why not.
Well, I like why not. Now that's gotten me in a lot of trouble. Asking why.
But I want to create troubling because I think it makes us think and question and like. In many ways, I think that in many ways we are afraid to ask why not, because it can create situations that people would come and really challenge you. There's
a difference between ideas and action. And
actions too.
And people and ideas, they can and they should be safe places. But too often we don't think of the ideas and the questioning, and we just leap to action, and oftentimes we make poor actions. But if we can create more space where we can discuss the ideas and the questions, it can help educate us.
But don't you think that we can question also the ideas?
Oh, sure, definitely.
No, you said that we should provide them a safe space to exist?
For a space
for the ideas?
Yes, to discuss the ideas.
To discuss. So it's okay to question the ideas.
Definitely.
With why not?
And if we're discussing, like, if you have something, or you're curious about something, and maybe not even I know this is the way things should be or the way the world should be or whatever, and you want to discuss it or even propose maybe we should shift and do things differently. If you discuss it through a what if or a why not, when I'm listening to you and interacting with you on this idea, I don't have to worry about what I think about you or your background or anything else. We're in a different space that's different, and we can investigate just the idea. We can look at just the idea and come to better results and actions and understandings because it takes us out of it, and the focus is purely on this idea. And then once we have a better
I would
understanding,
argue about this pure situation here in the third space, you know, because this is when I bring my ideas to the conflicted place in like Israel, the bloody one. My ideas of the third space, of pure third space, collapsed. So I must say that I question now this pure third space, and I take it to dialogue. To realize that in dialogue we have many stages, and when we come together now we don't have dialogue. We have conversations, we have an argument, we have many things, we have interview, but we don't have dialogue, and it's really hard to jump right like to the third space. It's a process of becoming. It's a process of being with in the risky places.
And this is what I think as educators we can make it a more accessible place. And right now, the biggest thing we've been doing with this conference is having conferences, but we have goals to get it so that schools can independently organize their own what if conference, but also to get educators to bring it into their classrooms and what they're actually teaching and working on, so they can have space during the day instead of just giving lessons to talk about what if. And one of the teachers we've worked with in the past that's really interesting. He's a physics professor and our teacher. And he said it's as a teacher, as an educator, some of the things he's seen with it is fascinating with, he'll do a class when they're like middle school kids and they're discussing gravity, right? Mm-hmm. And he can start out a class, instead of saying, all right, what did you read last night about, gravity? Tell me all the information that you learned, right? He can go in and say, like, what if gravity didn't exist? What if gravity was happened during the day, but not at night? What if it weren't a law? Right. Any of these what if questions. Now, some could look at like, well, what if gravity doesn't exist? That's a stupid question. It's not real. It's not true. Why? It has no place in the classroom. Right. But when you ask a question like that, kids start saying all kinds of stuff. Well, this could happen or that could happen. And as an educator, when you're a facilitator instead of a transmitter of knowledge, you can listen to what the kids are saying in a playful, they could be joking around. Oh, if there's no gravity, this would happen. Or like, my book would fly,
and
outer space or whatever.
I would put also the teachers into this pool, because I believe that many times we know to challenge our students with what if, but we forget to challenge ourselves. And I want to refer to Yaakov. I was his student back in, I don't know, 99, I don't know, in the Teacher Education, Democratic Education Institute. And if I carry one thing from all this program, is one sentence that he told me, that he said, it's not important to know the answers. No. And it brings me to tears because it offered me a gift. I feel that it taught me something. It's not to having answers. It's to provide ourselves all the time the process, to be in questioning and continuing, not for the sake of answering. It was a gift that I carry on, and it's powerful. I think it's just important to remember that it's not just for the students, it's also for the teachers.
Sure. No. Well, I love what you said, it's not just...
I love it.
And that's exactly what we're trying to capture. Like, when people give a what-if presentation, we limit it to 8 minutes for a number of reasons. One is because the attention span of a human is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So if everything's in 8 minutes or less, we know they'll have attention.
Right.
But we also like it because it takes 8 minutes for the sun's light to reach the earth. So we like the idea of like this compressed...
This is beautiful metaphor.
And the idea of like two circles, we're working on circles and interconnectedness, and we like the conferences to start in the day and come out at night. So you have this transformation in like two worlds. Like, so we love the number 8, right?
You give some thought.
But the thing, like we said with answers, is also when you're 8 minutes is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it also forces presenters to avoid answers and just keep pushing out possibilities, put out ideas. And then the hope is, or it's supposed to be, I don't even want to say the word design,